How in the world do you make money raising rabbits as a complete beginner? That's what we're going to talk about today. Just as a fair warning, the 3 dogs are loose, so if you hear clicking or animals walking up close to me, well, we're just going to keep on rolling because that's what you got to do. Alright, so you're a complete beginner, or maybe you know someone who is raising rabbits, or you're thinking about it yourself. Whatever the case, you want to raise rabbits, but you also don't want them to be a complete money suck. Well, how are you going to start? Now, I hope that you, or whoever you were trying to figure this out for, doesn't even have rabbits yet, because that's going to be the optimal time and scenario that this video is going to help you out with, okay? So, let's assume you are brand new, and you know you want to raise rabbits, but that's it. Your number one thing that I want you to look at before you get started or think about is a breed that can have increased value, or as you built up your reputation, you can start charging more for it. So let me give you an example. There are breeds that are like something like New Zealand's or Dutch that maybe not Dutch so much anymore. They were when I was younger. They were pretty popular, but mini lops are another thing. That they can be extremely cheap. And so when you start with cheap, you're going to get very poor quality. There are some images online that I'm looking at it and they're saying that's one breed, and I'm looking at it and going like, it could be a mix of both, you know, or multiple. So something like New Zealand's, either, I'm going to stick with them throughout the course of this video. So something like them, you are either extremely cheap, like 10 to 15 bucks, or there's this huge jump to where they better have darn good quality, meaning conformation and muscle mass and fur and all of that, but that's going to cost you several hundred. Now, they are one of those breeds where there's a ton of them out there, and it's either end. The problem being with those is that there's not a whole lot of like pet value to them, and so the best successes are going to come when you are able to meet a ton of different markets. So people who want one as a pet, people who want one as a good quality conformation and good temperament and all of that, but also you can appeal to the people who show them, or 4-H, or you know, show them through the ARBA, whatever. That's like the optimal breed, okay? So really just think about it, and if you end up with one that you like but doesn't meet all of those criteria, then that's okay. That's more important that you like it and love the breed more than the aspect of, will this make money, okay? All right, step number 2, and I'm not a fan of doing it, but you got to do it, and that is social, okay? When you have no online presence at all, and you're not being found in Google search, which I will get there, or you don't have a website yet, that's your only option. Like, legit, that's it. People don't go to bulletin boards anymore. Craigslist is kind of like full of spammers and silliness like that. There are Facebook groups, and then there is Facebook pages for, you know, what you would use to market your rabbitry. So what you need to do is start before you even have rabbits. This is my personal example. We're getting into raising heritage breed bourbon red turkeys. Well, the chicks are still getting hatched at the raiser, the guy that raises them, and so in the next couple of weeks, before I even get those turkeys, I'm going to create a Facebook page that is, you know, that's going to be found in search of, you know, even on Facebook. So if someone is looking for them, they can find them. I'm going to start saying, you know, coming soon, you know, all of that stuff. So that's what you want to do with your rabbitry. Start with just one. You don't have to overwhelm yourself. I am the worst offender of this, in wanting to, you know, be all the places, but I'm one person. I can only handle so much. So choose your one platform, and for rabbits, it's either Facebook or Instagram would be the next best option if you had to choose, okay? All right, so adding on to the social aspect, what the heck do you say? That's a tough one, and I see this all the time, is where people will post cute picture or a picture with emojis in the comment. The problem with that is people don't know how to engage with that. And so you need to do something some kind of post that will interact and get people to engage with it, whether it's to like it or it's to just tell them a story of what's going on. I'm super excited about going to meet the breeder of this breed that we're looking at getting. Something like that. Get creative with it. All right, and then the next step is to start small. I don't love it, but I see it a lot. I admire the enthusiasm is more the correct phrase. People will end up buying, 10 or 15 of a breed and they have nobody knows they even exist. Rabbits grow quickly, they eat more than people think, and it's gonna get expensive real fast. So hold your horses, basically is what I'm trying to say. So when you first getting started, I want you to either, the best scenario, it's not super small, starting with $2 bucks and 3 does, preferably none of them are related, okay? So if that's still stretching it a little bit, $1 and 2 does would be ideal, okay? The reason I like $2 is because you have a backup if something happens, because certain breeds, especially like French Laps, they take a while to grow. They're not, buy him in the beginning of the season and he's ready to make babies by, the end of the year. It takes, 7 to 8 months at minimum before they're even close to knowing what a doe is and what to do. That's enough for that story. But anyways, you get the idea. It's so start with 2 does and $1. Let's just say you're going to start with that. Start with your 3, but you are already, before you even have them, before you have bred them, before they're, growing to be old at breeding age, you are posting about them on social, on your Rabbitry Facebook account, or in a group that allows you to do that. People will, contact you if they see that you have a pair or something like that, saying, hey, are you going to breed in a couple of months? Something like that. Start with a Facebook page. That would just be my personal, at this current season in 2021, Facebook pages are doing very well for rabbitries or animals. The online animal farming agricultural world is almost 5 years behind everybody else on social or when it comes to digital stuff. So start with that. Start promoting them. You are promoting them. You're not saying going to have something for sale later in the fall or anything like that. You are just bringing awareness and bringing eyes onto what you do, okay? Then, as you start, once the rabbits are bred, you post that. Once the babies are born, you post that. Once they're a couple days old and they're doing solid, every couple of days, be posting about how they're growing. And that is when you can start to say, going to be available. Never say breed, rabbit, species, whatever, for sale. Facebook will flag that, okay? You do not want your account shut down over that, okay? So watch how you word it, but get creative with it, okay? So this is a 6 to at minimum 3 month process that you are growing a viewership, basically, of your Facebook account, of, people waiting to see if you have rabbits available, okay? So once you get to that point of where those 3 or 5 or how many you started with you are selling everything that you are able to produce, that's when you bring in another one or 2. And then you wait until you are able to, you've got the audience to buy what you have available, if that makes sense, okay? So we're not starting huge and then, having nobody there and then wondering why, we're up to our earballs in rabbits and we're not sure what, even to do with them, okay? So, because you're responsible for them, however many you end up with, you got to figure out what to do if they don't go, okay? So, you're stuck with them. Let's just leave it at that, okay? So, bring people along that journey and constantly be teasing it on whatever platform you choose to be on, okay? All right, now this last one that I kind of teased a few minutes ago, have a home base that is not social media, okay? Now, there's a couple of different options that you can do if you're first starting out. I recommend starting with a free WordPress website. I'm not going to go into that because I could keep on going for a while. WordPress is the best, just going to say, okay? Then if you are wanting to, find other avenues or streams of income, then go for it. Do affiliate income or create digital products that you could sell, or the options are endless, okay? But you can't do that on a free one, or you can, but it just doesn't work as well, okay? So start free. Like, I started on a free site for years, so it's doable. The thing that you need to do with that, even if it's free, is to start putting what's called keywords or ways that people will search in Google for the animal you raise, okay? So I'm going to show you a free one. It's called Ubersuggest, and this one is I don't really know of another one that lets you do searches for free, but you want to type in the breed you have and then try the state that you also are in, and then see how many searches that comes up with. You might have to play with it. It's going to give you a few suggestions of, other ways that people search for it. So those are the keywords you're going to write down, and you're going to incorporate those words in a lot of different places in your website. That is a video for another time, because I want to keep this as short and to the point as possible. But use that one's another one. My favorite, honestly, is Keywords Everywhere. It's a Chrome extension. You have to use it on a laptop. It's not going to work on a phone. However, it gives you a ton of information, and you can get 100,000. Yeah, you can get 100,000 word searches. So, like, if you search a 5-word phrase, then that's 5. That counts as 5 tokens, basically, for $10. So that's super cheap. And that's the cheapest you're gonna find. Like, I've not found a cheaper tool, okay? And they give you a lot of information and more ideas than the free one, but you can absolutely stick with the free one, okay? But that's the idea that I want you to do. Find out the ways that people are searching for your breed and incorporate that in literally everything that you write or put on your website or even on your Facebook account, because people do search on there too. I had someone find me through search on Facebook the other day, okay? So having a home base, though, is something that you own, and you're constantly making people aware of that. And that is my strategy for you if you are starting completely from the very beginning, wanting to make money raising rabbits. All right, I'll see you in the next episode.